Everyone, my name is Mr. Devlin. I'll be your instructor for the next 2 weeks in this modified hybrid class where the information is gathered online in the online community, and then we're going to take that information that we learned and use it on the outdoor field trips that this course has to offer. So the goal here is in this lecture, it's very important to watch the entire thing. Is one, you'll get an idea of what the class expectations are in order to succeed, and then this will also give you an idea how to navigate through this hybrid classroom. So let's start off by understanding what we are going to cover these next 2 weeks. And biodiversity and ecology are an interesting class because I'm sure you've heard of some of these concepts before, maybe an environmental science class you've taken, biology, or even a physical science. But the interesting thing about ecology is we're including the human aspect of it. We're going to look at not just the science, but we're going to look at political issues, cultural, how they affect certain cultures specifically, the ethical issues, and even the economy as well. And so the class is going to be broken up into these modules, and each module is going to have a theme. So for example, non-native species or endangered species. And through this process, we're going to learn that our decisions about growth and development and sustainability, and even how we use energy and water, are detrimental to our health if we don't live in this harmony. So hopefully by the end of this course, you gain a better perspective on how to live more sustainably and not only improve the quality of your health, but the health of the earth as well. Some materials you're going to need, obviously your personal computer or your iPad are going to be essential. The apps, you've used Shobi before. Here's the Shobi code. We'll discuss that upcoming here. But something else that might be new to you is called Flipgrid, and that is our class pin. I will explain more about Flipgrid in a second. The goal of Flipgrid here is to make this online community and online class a little more personable. So again, make sure you have those. The other most important thing you could always go to is the class website. The class website is available on Shobi, and everything you will need will be there. So here's the class website, our class description. We're going to let it load here. There we go. So we have our class description, which we just covered. This is also very important. There's your class calendar. So this will give you an idea of when each module is due. Each module is due by 11:59 p.m. of that day. So for example, module 1 on Tuesday is due by 11:59 p.m. on the 5th. These are open a week in advance, so if you want to get a jump on the work, you could essentially knock out an entire week's work at your convenience. Just know that module 3 and everything behind it in this case is due by 11:59 p.m. on the 8th. And again, here is our syllabus, so it's essential. Let's go over this so we understand what's going on here. Here's my contact information. I want to point out that I will be in my room Monday mornings from 8:30 to 10:30. If you need me at any time, shoot me an email, and I'll make sure I'm there. We went over the course description. We went over our materials needed. We will look at your expectations is to complete all the assignments on time by the due date. That will help you succeed in class. This is an online class, but also remember that academic integrity is essential, and everything in the student Bishop Gorman handbook is make sure you follow that to a T. And then our field trips. There will be field trips. It's important that you not only represent yourselves with good behavior, but remember you're also representing the school and your classmates as well. So your behavior and how you represent yourself on those trips is essential. Grading, there's going to be 7 modules. Actually, you guys are going to have 6. You're going to have 6 modules. Each is worth 100 points. We're going to have 3 field trips this time, and those are worth 100 points, and then a final exam, making it out of 1,000. A few things I want to leave for you. It's make sure you contact me immediately if you're having problems with email, if you're having online issues. I need to know this as soon as possible. Take advantage of Mondays if you need me, and do not get behind in any of the assigned work. Like I mentioned earlier when we looked at the calendar, you do have the opportunity to work ahead if you know you have certain things going on. Knock those things out before so you don't have to play catch up. So here's our schedule for the next 2 weeks. Notice we have a field trip in the first week, and then we have 2 field trips the second week. I want to point out that attendance to these are mandatory. If you are not at a field trip, you lose credit for the course. And we'll talk about the field trips here moving on. So there's our syllabus. Our Flipgrid you are somewhat familiar with already. It is again an avenue to allow this to make the class more personable. So our class code is here. You are going to log in. It would help to download the app on your iPad. And then each day you're going to see there's going to be a prompt. Right now there's one prompt, and it is to introduce yourself. So what this entails is you're going to answer these questions. You're going to have 90 seconds. You can see here. Answer the 2 questions in the process. So tell us your name, some of your interests, and answer why it's important to learn about humans' effect, good or bad, and name one thing that makes you smile. And you're going to see here that this is going to get posted to a board. You all have access to review and view other people's videos. You can like them, you can comment on them, you can leave emojis, and so on. And just notice is that as the class progresses, you're going to see more in these prompts, and each day you're going to have a prompt to respond to. And I highly suggest you review other people's work and make comments and make it a more of a community rather than this online class. So again, the website is essential. I want to point out the tops here. Here are your modules. So here's everything that you will be doing throughout the next 2 weeks. So for example, on module 1, that's about invasive species, and here is the entire work that needs to be completed by that day. And we'll go more into that in a little bit because there's also on Shobi. This is also important. There are 2 permission slips I need you to fill out. The first one is the Bishop Gorman slip. I need this ASAP because I need to make copies and send them off to the diocese before we leave. And here you can see that here are the dates of the field trips, and notice they are all self-transportation. It is your responsibility to drive to these places to and from. I want to point out I cannot drive any of you, so if you want to carpool, you have friends in the class, that's totally cool. But again, you are on your own for transportation. And then if you want to get a better idea of the field trips, we will discuss them in the modules as they get closer. But here are the locations of the field trips to give you a more idea of where we are headed. So let's look at your Shobi. Your Shobi you're all familiar with. And again, you'll notice that each module will be on the left-hand side. The first weeks will be unlocked at 8 a.m. on Monday. And then again, you can navigate and go ahead as far as you want. So for example, the Intro to Biodiversity, and these are all the same. You're going to get a brief synopsis of what it's worth and when it's due. And then notice there's a link, and here's that link to everything that you'll need to do. Everything in blue is a link. I'm trying to make it very easy for you to just click as you go. So you'll open up each module. So here you can see you're going to watch the introduction to biodiversity lecture. There's some notes to annotate as you go. And then as you go down, there are lessons. So again, if you open this up each day, just make a little checklist as you go, 1 through 8, complete the quiz, watch the video, and so on, you will be set. The other thing I'd like you to notice is that each module has a rubric. So if this is another thing you may want to use as a checklist, you can go down and make sure you did all these. And also this will give you an idea of the point value. And remember that each day is worth 100 points. And it's due at 11:59 p.m. of that due date. So we have your Shobi, you have your modules. Again, it's pretty self-explanatory. If there is anything you need, you can always contact me. And again, I will be available at any time to meet you at school if that's something you need, or via email. So good luck in this class. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a great time. It always is. And we will see you on the field trips.